Okay, I'm kind of flying blind here, but we're going to say I think we have, hold on a second. 94, good morning.
Hi.
Hi, Kristina?
Yeah.
Okay,
Good
good.
morning,
Yes, good
Kristina.
morning. Hey, we got Kristina, of course. She's the mom of Jose, who was a sailor on the Roosevelt. First of all, good morning, Kristina. We just wanted to kind of catch up with you.
Hi, good morning. This is Andrew. How are you guys?
We're hanging in there.
Yeah, we are. How are you? I wanted to touch base with you because I saw over the weekend they had a motorcade for the TR Sailor who passed, and so I kind of thought of you, and I wanted to bring you onto the show and just, touch base, find out how you're doing, find out what your boy's saying. So if you could, indulge us.
We're good. He's good. He sends us daily pictures of his meals.
How's the food?
It's not Mama's food.
Definitely.
So that's what he keeps on saying. It's all right. It's not your food. I laugh at it though because it goes to a state of mind. If you know my son, then you know it's like, okay, he's good. He's good to go. He finally got tested. We're waiting.
Okay.
Speaking of testing,
Yes.
I want to touch base. Sorry, Chris.
No, please do.
Your reaction.
That's kind of why I brought you on too, is I noticed you were messaging me over the weekend, so I wanted to get your take on it too.
I'm gonna try and censor myself, but I'm perturbed. I am perturbed. I am irate. I'm livid. I do not understand how somebody that ran on a campaign of being a nurse and a health care provider can sit there and justify having tests run the way that and I know that she's not public health, and I know that public health is the one that's running it, but she has a say in it. And all of these people have that medical education and mentality, and they should know better. So why are they not running the tests that they have? If they know that they have so many coming in, 4,000 coming in, kill the ones that they have. Kill them now. Do them. Do the test. Run the test. Let people get a peace of mind. My family was. I have one essential worker in my house, and we don't go anywhere. We don't do anything because we have a manumpu. So by extension, we are concerned that we're going to pass something to her. And it would be great if we could be tested. And I know there's a lot of households like that. A lot of households that just want to say, hey, you know what? I want to be able to say I don't have it. And yes, it's a very, what is the word I'm looking for? It's a small peace of mind, but it's peace of mind nonetheless. Yes, I'm negative now, but I can be positive in a week from now. Okay, but I had that peace of mind for just a small moment. And I know how to keep myself safe and away from people if I do test positive. But if you have the test, why are you not using them? That is my biggest question. What is the gain from not using those tests that you already have? I've been reading in the comments, are they saving it for themselves? Are they saving it for their relatives? And I'm like, okay, don't think so negative. But it raises the question.
I think what's really missing in action here, Kristina, is forward information. We shouldn't have to be discussing this in the way that we're discussing it now. There's just a lot of uncertainty because there's a lack of, not only just a lack of information, I mean, they went dark the whole weekend. No press conference, no nothing. And so, while I understand that they might view these press conferences as, engaging the media, it's not really about that. The media is watching. Yeah, we're asking questions, but who's really watching is the public. People are tuning into these press conferences because they want to know what's going on. And so I think if we're going to put out 7 tests, 9 tests, then, don't insult our intelligence. Do not. I mean, we're some smart people out here.
Mm-hmm.
And when you run these numbers and you give us, 0 positives, so we only ran 9 tests, I mean, it just doesn't add up in our minds, and we're just hungering for some type of explanation.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if it's that you don't have the tests to do, then you got to come out and be honest with us. I mean, we've been hearing that they're going to increase testing capacity for a few weeks now. It hasn't materialized. That's all I'm saying is, like, if there's a problem, we understand. You guys could, look as good as you can by saying, oh, we're dealing with the same shortages, guys. That's what's happening. I know a lot of you are asking why we're running so few tests, but we don't get that. Instead, it's like, here they are. I mean, you can't call them, it's there's no real opportunity to find out why.
I just think that also, if you're going to announce that we've got all these testing capabilities, we've got this Avid ID here, over there, everywhere, and we're going to, by the end of the week, we should be able to do 100 tests, next week 200 tests, and then
I feel like they've been saying that a few
9
weeks now.
or whatever over the weekend. I just kind of makes me wonder what really is going on. Are we rationing them? And if we are, if there is a shortage, then just
Give
say
us
it.
the reason.
Yeah.
Exactly. If there is a reason why we're rationing it, let us know. So, hey, you know what? We have some peace of mind. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's really pretty basic. People, we keep saying this, and we've been saying it since the beginning, is if you don't put some kind of information in that void, people are just going to fill it, and they're going to say, like, oh, you're saving the test for your relatives, or oh, look what people are saying.
And if you're going to announce, I've got a recovery panel, and we're going to start gradually reopening things, and this and that, then we should know where are we with these test kits and testing, because I would just think that the more you test, the more you know. And
I mean, but I think it's irresponsible to only test 16 people over a weekend, 7 people in a day, 9 people in a day, and then sit there and say, like, yeah, we're thinking about reopening because there hasn't been, and I think it was one of the senators who brought it up, was that there hasn't been the same amount of commitment in responding to this from the government of Guam that we're seeing on the people's end. Like, we're doing our part. Curfew, no curfew, tickets, you can't give us whatever. We're, for the most part, we are doing our part. We are staying home.
Ourselves.
So we're doing our end. I don't know why the government of Guam's not holding up their end of the bargain.
Unless they do have the information, and because they're making these sort of decisions and announcements that, we've got this recovery panel and we're going to start looking at whatever, then maybe they do know and they're just not telling everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, I would
I
hope
thought-
that the decision that the administration, the governor, the surgeons, physicians advisory group, that they must know what they're doing, but they're just not, presenting it to the public.
Maybe we need
to where we would understand.
Another presentation, Bree.
I want to see another trajectory.
And then the other thing is like, if you want us to take this serious and stay home and stuff, you can't start talking about reopening the island and then expect us to still be jumping through all the little hoops. I mean, I am, because I fear for the safety of our people. I'm sold on this. I'm gonna wear a mask. I'm gonna do my part. I'm gonna stay home. Because I really believe that the risk is it's great out here, and I've never been someone who trusts the government, so this isn't just a COVID thing. But
until I see more tests being run, I'm going to stay home. I'm going to continue wearing my mask. But 7 tests, 9 tests, that's not cutting it for me.
Yeah, it's definitely not.
Yeah. My thing is, she has sat there and said that we're supposed to stay in. The second wave is coming. Don't be naive. We're going to see, the worst is still yet to come. And in the same breath, she's saying, oh yeah, we're thinking of reopening because there's 0 positives. You're giving us contradicting information, woman. Do you realize that in the same sentence? And I don't think that that's right. I don't think it's fair. I think you're giving us a false sense of hope. And I don't understand why you're doing that. It baffles me. It's very frustrating to listen to all of this. And I'm yelling at the TV. I'm yelling at my phone, whatever device I'm listening to all of this on. And I'm just like, you're making me mad.
Man, Kristina, you're not the only one. I got a couple of friends who, before COVID, they wouldn't be the type to sit here and watch a press conference, because we're all caught up in our daily grind, going out there, you're working, paying the bills. But because because we, have nothing else to do and people want to know what's going on. These couple of friends of mine, they've been watching the press conferences, but Friday they just had to turn it off because, like you said, they were just so angry and like what. There's a frustration. We don't feel like we know where we really are with COVID, and yet we're continuing to move forward with these discussions about, hey, are we going to reopen? Hey, are we going to do this? Are we going to soften restrictions? Which I understand is a conversation that, the media wants to know. Yeah, because it's happening nationally, so we want to know. But anyway, so.
Yeah. People want their lives back, and I get that. I understand that completely. But if, like you said, after everything opens, I'm staying away from everybody. I want to see what's going to happen. And if that second wave, like the Spanish flu, comes through, because I want me and my children at least to be safe. I know that sounds very, very selfish, but I can only police my own. I can only take care of my own and worry about my own. And I hope that the rest of the island does the same thing.
Well, I'm with you. I'm following the orders.
Yeah. Us too.
Yeah.
Well, Kristina, thank you. Really, again, going back, so your boy's fine. He got tested. He's eating. He's still on the ship. Is there anything else you can tell us about maybe what he's saying that, the sailors are thinking about with this? There's a lot going on.
There is a lot of going on. Sailors get told it's a matter of a need-to-know basis.
Yeah.
And especially at my son's level, he don't need to know. Do your job. You have an order. You have a directive. Do your job. And that's what they have to do. Go to the gym. Okay, what am I doing at the gym? You're sitting here waiting until your days are up, and then get tested again. Oh, that's another point that I wanted to touch base on you, Chris. I noticed in your post that you said they aren't retesting the ones that have recovered.
Right.
Is that true?
That's what we understand. So according to the CDC guidelines, and we'll play it, I think it's something on the JIC release. The CDC guidelines are...
they're classified as recovered after at least 72 hours have passed without a fever or additional respiratory issues, and at least 7 days have passed since symptoms first appeared.
That's it. That's the whole criteria for, and this is a CDC guideline. So to be fair, our government is just following these CDC guidelines. But this is something that if you Google the national news, people who have recovered are testing positive again, and they don't know if it's because the virus is dormant or if it's that they're contracting it again. So the whole recovery science, it's still up in the air. Which again is why I have, me personally, the government, they're the ones that know, but I just have a problem with this churning out these recovery numbers,
And there's 112 recoveries out of the 136 confirmed cases.
Right, and no one's saying we don't want to believe there's those recoveries, but I'm just saying if you look at the national, international news, what constitutes someone who is recovered has been laid out by the CDC guidelines, but after that, we're not really sure. And we're not testing these people.
Yeah. I was concerned about it because that, to my knowledge, that's what they're doing with the Navy in general, not just the ship, in general.
Right.
If you get tested positive, they quarantine you for, isolation for the 14 days. When you come out of it, you get tested again. If you're still positive, they send you back into isolation. And that's not just the ship. I have read that. I have heard it from other families that are in the Navy. So if they have all of these extra kits that are just laying around with their 4 machines now that can test, why aren't they testing the ones that have recovered? I understand CDC guidelines, but you're saving these tests for a reason. You're putting them in your pocket and saving them for a rainy day. You can't explain why to the public. So maybe the public can give you ideas of what to do with your tests that you're putting in your pocket. use it on the ones that have recovered to see if they are negative or positive still. If they're positive, put them back in. Even though they're not showing any symptoms. Hey, guess what? Since the beginning of all of this, everybody kept on saying, oh, stay inside, asymptomatic, asymptomatic, you won't show signs. It's just, it's frustrating. And then another thing, oh my God, I'm going down a rabbit hole right now.
You're not
Like
the only
you
one,
said,
Christina.
I have time to think about all of this, and
Right.
I'm just, oh.
Did you hear about the study that's going to be starting this week?
Which study?
There's a study that the military and the CDC, they're going to be doing with volunteers from, the sailors. So they're going to do these serology tests. I believe those are like the rapid test kits to determine, to study the outbreak on the Theodore Roosevelt, and then perhaps using the findings to look at the overall outbreak and how they can fight it.
Yeah. Well, that's only good to the public if we know the real, true result, And case study is case study. I get that. But case study can also be interpreted differently by different people. It's good because, like swine flu, we're getting Spanish flu, we're getting our information from there. And so, sorry, my cat is yelling. Can you get out of my room, please? I feel like one of those people on Zoom where their kids walk into the room. Somebody stop.
Okay, Christina, sorry, Bree has to use the bathroom.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Okay.
Bye. You guys have a good day.
Thank
Bye.
you, Christina.
Take
You
care.
hang in there. You keep in touch. You got my number. You shoot me your thoughts. I like your perspective.
Hope everything goes okay with Jose.
Yes. Let us know, okay?
Okay. Bye.
Okay,
Bye.
Okay, guys, we got to take a break. Sorry, I didn't mean to throw your bladder under the bus. It's 6:56. It's the KUM News takeover of Guam's favorite I-94 containing COVID.